Hi, Dr. Valerie Baker with you today to talk about what's wrong with you. One of my favorite topics as of late. I have this talk called, what is it called? Reclaiming Your Truth, breaking the 7 spells that keep you settling for less than your most fulfilled, happy, and abundant life. Something along those lines. So there are 7 of these spells. The ways in which society conditions us to keep the lid on our light, keep the lid on our talents, to keep playing small. And one of them, spell number 2, is conditional love. Conditional love. Early on, we learn the rules of the game. We learn what we need to do to be a good girl or a good boy. I'm talking mostly to girls now because I am one, and so I just have more intel on that experience. So if you do A, B, and C, you're a good girl. If you look a certain way, if you act a certain way, if you think a certain way, if you plan your life a certain way, you're a good girl, a good woman. And if you don't, you're not. And so good girls get conditional love, and that gets reinforced. And those who are not, well, who dares not to be a good girl, right? I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we all get started trying to be a good girl. Just like give me some indication if that speaks to you, yay or nay. And then we enter into this phase of, wait a minute, I'm not that. And so the reclamation begins. So today we're going to have a reclamation party, a power reclamation party. We're going to share what's wrong with us according to the messages that we received growing up from parents, the society, etc. So I'm going to share a few with you. And this was inspired by the work I did recently with a client. We had a gorgeous VIP day. So we dove in very deeply into the deep pockets of these experiences, and it came as a divine inspiration once we wrote down everything that's wrong with her to reclaim these things as strengths. Once on paper, it became so obvious that this was at the core of her mission, her work, and her badassery. Okay, so I hope you can use this reclamation party in the same way for your life and business. Okay, are you ready? I'm going to share a few, and let me know in the comments if you have any of those, or if you have more of what's wrong with you. Okay, so for example, you can't take no for an answer. Oh, this is courtesy of my one of my bosses who happened to be emotionally abusive, a woman. And she would just throw that in my face whenever I disagreed with her reasoning, which just did not make sense to me. And she was like, you just can't take no for an answer. What's wrong with you? And I honestly didn't think that that was something that was wrong with me. And eventually I realized that I was at the core unemployable. And now I don't take no for an answer in my business, and it's working very, very well for me, which means I keep looking for creative solutions, moving like water, right? The water finds its way. You are obsessive. That maybe not such a common one, but also from my former boss to me, which basically meant that I went in deep into the projects to make sure that they are up to snuff and to the level of excellence that I wanted to deliver. And now that I do it in my business, oh my gosh, this is just so good and sweet. Power reclaimed. You're not behaving like a girl. Anybody has heard that growing up? You're not acting like a girl. What are you wearing? This is not, girls don't wear that. Or girls don't say that. Or girls don't use that language, or girls don't laugh so loud. I heard that a lot growing up. Don't laugh so loud. Boys won't like you and no one would want to marry you. Okay. Oh, you're so disrespectful. Right? Your superpower of questioning authority, because sometimes authority really doesn't make sense. Using your own mind, not being compliant, little girl who's so easy to manipulate, right? That doesn't work so well for society, but it actually, guess what, works very well for you. So how about reclaiming that power, just along with the superpowers of dressing the way you want, talking the way you want, laughing the way you love. All right, so I'm going to put that list aside. It's certainly ongoing, and I'm hoping to hear from you. What have you heard growing up, or maybe recently? Or maybe you didn't even hear that. Maybe it was implied by your environment, such as be seen and not heard, because that's what women do. And how you didn't fit in and thought that something was wrong with you, and how you're going to reclaim that as a superpower. Okay, that's all I have for you today. I look forward to your comments. And next week, I'm going to be back, and I really want to talk to you about the biggest success block out there. It's very big. It's very painful. You don't want to miss that one. It comes up for everyone. It comes up for me every single day. It's especially powerful for women, and it's really something that holds us back. It's very emotional, and I can't wait to share it with you and have a conversation with you about it next week, and also share some tools on how to break through that. All right. I love you. I'll see you next week. Until then, stay in your heart.